Hi guys, Carter the accountant here. Today we're going to talk about real estate investments. So oftentimes I get clients that come through the door and they say, hey, I just ran into a lump sum of money. What do I do with it? I don't necessarily always recommend real estate, but I think it's a fun thing to kind of put your money towards. But today we're going to specifically talk about the corporate structure. And I'm calling them Flip LLC, Long-Term LLC, Rental LLC, and Commercial LLC. And this is the first thing you have to get into before you start dumping money into real estate. You have to set up the infrastructure, just like any other successful business. You want to be successful at anything, let's start with proper infrastructure. And because what generally happens, people go out and buy different types of properties that all have different types of tax treatment, and they do consolidated accounting, and then it's an IRS audit nightmare. Because now us as the accountants got to go in and break it all apart. So let's go with it. Flip LLC. This is what's common. This is what most people do. They just flipping properties. Generally, it's a short-term thing. Something that's happening within the same year. And regardless if it's the same year or not, flip properties equals, I'm going to put here, Schedule C. Schedule C is what most small businesses file. When you file a Schedule C, that income is subject to self-employment taxes. And such as for flip properties, by the way. But long-term properties, so these are the properties that you purchase today and maybe you just sit on it, let it increase in value, do a little upgrades here and there, and then sell it a year or two from now. Well, we don't want that property sitting in this LLC and flip LLC, because long-term LLC equals Schedule D. Schedule D means subject capital gains treatment. This is a far more advantageous tax treatment than Schedule C. But if you just take all your money and dump it in 10 different properties and do all this consolidated accounting, you may be paying self-employment taxes on money that you shouldn't. Start there. Then we have Rental LLC. All right, that's the obvious, right? We bought a couple rental properties. Rental properties equals Schedule E. Schedule E essentially, for this purpose, we're going to say Schedule E is essentially passive income. You're not working for it, you're not actively flipping these rentals, you're flipping properties. That's subject to Schedule C. We're actively moving. Long term, we just sitting on it, we got Schedule D. Now we got rental properties, Schedule E. Passive income, by the way. Again, better tax treatment than Schedule C. The last one here for today's lesson is Commercial LLC. Now, Commercial LLC is kind of one and the same with Long-Term LLC. But the reason why I advise clients to set up a different LLC for commercial properties is for this number one reason here. Number one reason, liability. I don't want you to have residential properties mixed with commercial properties. Commercial properties tend to be have more legal issues because you're talking 4-plex, 8-plex properties, big commercial buildings like the one that my office is in. So for that purpose, if I have clients, and I do have clients that invest in large commercial buildings, I want that puppy in its own LLC, but the tax treatment is typically Schedule D as well. Long-term capital gains. There you have it. This is Real Estate Investment 101. This is just a skinny on my 4 different buckets. But if you're going to go out there and dump money into real estate, make sure you have a proper tax advisor, someone that can guide you appropriately, or even in your legal team. You know, lawyers can do this too. But for every case, you know, it could be different depending on the amount of money you're talking about investing and your personal tax situation. Because all this stuff, in some cases, just flow through to your personal income tax. You're talking Schedule C, Schedule E. So you have to have really good tax planning. This is what I typically advise my clients. But again, it's a case-by-case scenario. One situation may not work for someone else, depends on what type of money we're talking about. Make sure you guys subscribe below to this YouTube channel. We're gonna keep this education coming. I'm gonna keep giving you guys informative information equals keys to success.